Hello, today I will show you how to set up SIP, voice over IP calling, on the Nokia N8. This same process should work for other Nokia phones that are running Anna or Belle as their operating system. So I already did a video on how to do this for the Nokia E72, in which I went into excessive detail explaining everything one could possibly need to know about using SIP with Zadarma as the provider. Therefore, I will not be going into excessive detail in this video. So if you want to have all of the possible information, please watch that video as well. So first, we need to go into our settings. Oh, and I should probably clarify, I am running a custom ROM, a modified version of the operating system. Specifically, the one I'm running is the Reborn custom firmware, which I certainly can recommend, but what I'm going to show you should also be exactly the same, regardless whether you are running the original stock ROM or the Delight custom firmware or whatever. So let's go into settings. And then we need to go to connections. And then the administrative settings. And then to SIP settings. So I already have this set up. So you would need to, from here, establish a new SAP profile using the standard option, but I will just go in here and show you what I've done. Only two options here, just leave it default. For your access point, definitely want to use whichever one you normally use to connect to the internet. And if you do that, if you just use internet, it will go ahead and use 3G if available, if you set it up to allow that, as well as all of the Wi-Fi networks you have saved. So public username, you want to put your 6-digit username that Zadarma gives you at sip.zadarma.com if you're using just normal SIP. If you're using their PBX, your 6-digit username dash extension number at pbx.zadarma.com. Now, for all of the details between their SIP versus PBX offerings, again, please watch the video for the Nokia E72 SIP setup. And to be clear, you do not have to type the SIP colon at the beginning. The phone does that automatically. Use compression? No. Registration? As needed. Use security? No. Proxy server? For the proxy server address, you will put sip.zadarma.com or pbx.zadarma.com. Again, it depends which of their services you are using. Domain is simply zadarma.com. Username is simply your 6-digit password or your 6-digit, sorry, not your 6-digit password, I meant your 6-digit username or your 6-digit username dash the extension number if you're using PBX. Password you can set on your Zadarma dashboard under settings SIP or under your PBX extension settings. Allow routing, yes. Transport type, TCP, port 5065. Zadarma will tell you to use UDP and port 5060. However, in my experience, that does not work reliably on Symbian. Next up, we have the registration server settings, which are identical to the proxy server settings. Everything I just told you to put under proxy server, please put under registration server as well. So that's it for this part of the settings. Now, next up, we're going to back out a little bit and let me back all the way out and say that for this next part, you have to manually install the advanced voice over IP settings, which of course you will find linked in the description of this video. So after you have installed that, which will probably require your phone to be jailbroken. So if it's not, take a moment to Google how to do that. Next up, once you have it installed, let's go back into settings, back into connections, and back into admin settings, net settings. And now we have advanced voice over IP settings. This here will not be here until you actually set up a profile, the last one. So in advanced voice over IP settings, you will go to create new service. But since I already have one set up, I will just show you how I've set it up here. So in profile settings, you can name it whatever you want. And most of this other stuff will remain default, nearly all of it, with a few exceptions, both of them visible right here. So AWCDMA, this right here determines whether or not you will be using 3G. Most of you do not have this option because 3G has already been decommissioned entirely in quite a few countries. So if you still have 3G available to you, then you can turn this on if you want to use SIP over 3G. By default, it will be off, and that means you will have to use Wi-Fi, which, again, if you don't have 3G, sorry, you will have to use Wi-Fi. SIP will not work over a 2G connection. The other thing you will want to change is right here. Ignoring domain part. If you leave it off, your call history will look like crap, as well as incoming calls. So go ahead and change it to numbers only. The rest of this stuff we will not be touching. And that's it, really. For codecs, I left it default because it's already sorted in order of best quality to worst, but you can change these if you have different priorities, such as saving data. You can Google the differences between all of these and the bit rates that they use if necessary, but honestly, I wouldn't worry about it. And that's it. You're done, you've set it up. So to actually activate it, you will simply go here to your phone, to your contacts, and then right over here, log in. And it's connecting and it's logged in just that easily. Now, because I have 3G here in Bulgaria, it was really easy. If not, then it might prompt you for Wi-Fi, unless you're already in range of a Wi-Fi network that you have saved. So now, whenever you dial numbers, you will have to be careful how you actually call them. So personally, I like to use AT&T as my test, just because I have their number memorized anyway. And then you can go right down here. If you just hit call, it will call them using your SIM card, which is potentially very expensive. For example, I have a German SIM card in this phone. Yes, it says Big A Global because I am currently roaming in Bulgaria. But I have a German SIM card. Regardless, either way, calling the US would be a horrible idea using a European SIM card. And that's why I'm using SIP. So if I go down here, I have the Zadarma call option, or it will just say whatever you named your service. And just that easily, it is calling using SIP. And you can tell because of the globe.
Welcome to AT&T. Calls are recorded for quality and the purposes stated in our privacy notice.
So that worked quite well, wouldn't you say? You can also do that from the contacts. So if I go to my contacts and simply go to AT&T's contact, from here you have the normal telephone call or the Zadarma calls right there, and you can just tap it, and again you can see the globe, so you know it's using SIP. And also from your call history, you can see that in the call history, the ones that were called using SIP will show the little globe with the phone. And yes, you can see other phone numbers I've called, but it's fine because they're businesses. This is not revealing my friends' phone numbers, so it's okay. So if I were to simply tap on it again, it will go ahead and redial using whichever method was used previously. So if I tap on this AT&T wireless, because it was done via SIP last time, it'll go ahead and use SIP again. So that's it. It's really quite simple. And again, please, if you want all of the details concerning why use SIP, concerning why I personally like Zadarma and why I recommend them, why it's just basically if you want more information about SIP, go ahead and watch the video for the Nokia E72. It's about half an hour long because I ramble and ramble and ramble and give you every possible detail I can think of. So that's it for now. Hope you found this video helpful. And one last note, if you are using SIP all the time, expect a sharp decline in your battery life, especially if you're using it over 3G. So if that's a huge concern, you might want to turn it on and off as needed, which actually I should probably mention that to turn it off, you will go back to your contacts. And then over here, sorry, no, let me back out, my apologies. You will go back to your contacts, and then up here at the top, you will tap the globe, bottom right, little menu button, log out. And just that easily, done, logged out. Okay, have a nice day.